They thought it was just another abandoned house, until investigators tore down the walls. What they found hidden inside would shock an entire town, and leave a mystery that still has no answers. It was 1994, in a quiet Midwestern town where everyone knew everyone. On Maple Street stood a house that neighbors whispered about for years. The paint peeled, the shutters hung crooked, and the windows seemed to watch whoever passed by. They called it the House of Secrets. For decades, no one lived there. Families moved in, then out, leaving suddenly, without explanation. Kids dared each other to run up to the porch at night. But what no one knew was that inside those walls was something far darker than small-town ghost stories. It began when the city condemned the property. A crew was sent to inspect the house before demolition. What they discovered made them stop in their tracks. Behind the plaster, hidden in hollow spaces between the walls, were dozens of small objects: journals, photographs, personal belongings, and bones. Not animal bones. Human. Police were called immediately. The house was sealed with bright yellow tape, and the investigation began. Detectives and forensic teams tore apart every room, every wall cavity. What they found was chilling. Carefully wrapped remains of at least 3 different individuals, hidden as if someone had been living with them, keeping them close. The journals told an even stranger story. They belonged to a girl named Sarah, who lived in the house in the 1970s. Page after page, she wrote about voices in the walls, footsteps in the attic, and a man she only referred to as a watcher. Detectives interviewed former tenants. One recalled hearing whispers through the vents. Another swore she'd come home to find furniture moved slightly out of place, as if someone else had been there while she was gone. Every family who lived in that house eventually fled, terrified. And then came the darkest discovery. Hidden in a crawl space off the basement, investigators found a narrow passage leading between the walls of the house. Someone had built a hidden corridor system, allowing them to move from room to room, unseen. The evidence suggested someone had lived there for years, maybe decades, watching, waiting. They could spy through slits in the walls, listening to conversations, learning routines. And when the time came, they struck. But who was the watcher? And why hide the remains in the very walls of the house? Suspicions quickly turned to the original owner, a reclusive handyman named Robert Miles. He was known for doing odd jobs around town, always working alone. Neighbors described him as quiet, polite, but with eyes that seemed to linger too long. Miles disappeared in 1985, never to be seen again. Some believe he died. Others think he simply moved on, taking his secrets with him. Forensic teams tested the bones, but the technology of the time was limited. DNA analysis wasn't advanced enough to match the remains to missing persons. Families with loved ones gone for years came forward, hoping for closure, but answers never came. The house was too contaminated, too decayed. And then, just when investigators thought they'd seen it all, they found something even more unsettling. In the attic, tucked away in a locked trunk, lay dozens of Polaroid photographs, all of women. Some appeared asleep, others looked terrified. None of them were identified. The photographs raised more questions than answers. Were these the victims hidden in the walls? Or were they others still out there never found? Detectives feared the latter. As word spread, the town fell into panic. Parents kept children inside. Women refused to walk alone. The house became the center of speculation. Was it a dumping ground for a serial killer? Or was someone actually living in those walls, choosing who would disappear next? Over the next several years, the case grew cold. The remains were eventually buried, still unnamed. The house itself was demolished, replaced by an empty lot that no one wanted to build on. To this day, it sits vacant, grass growing high, as if the earth itself refuses to cover its secrets. Modern investigators have reopened the case multiple times, using advanced DNA techniques. Some fragments have been tested, but so far, no matches. The Polaroids remain locked in evidence, hundreds of eyes staring out, waiting to be recognized. Sarah's journals, too, remain a mystery. Some say she was one of the victims. Others believe she escaped, leaving behind her words as a warning. So what really happened inside the House of Secrets? Was it the work of one man, slipping through the walls to watch his victims before striking? Or was it something even stranger, an accomplice, a cult, or a hidden obsession that consumed the lives of more than one person? The remains may never all be identified. The watcher may never be caught. But the story of that house, and the secrets buried in its walls, will haunt the town forever. And so, I'll ask you, what do you think investigators really found in the walls? The trophies of a serial predator? The evidence of a hidden cult? Or something too twisted for us to even imagine? Leave your theory in the comments, because the truth might still be out there, waiting to be uncovered.